Hello, NBA fans. Daily news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a fan of the Lakers show and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give it a like. The Lakers are being tipped to invest heavily in Zion Williamson, who struggled with injuries last season and struggled to maintain his fitness. But when it comes to Zion Williamson, if he's motivated to play alongside Luka Doncic, they could form a solid duo. A bold trade proposal to bring another young star to Los Angeles and form a true Big Three, but it will cost the Lakers a hefty sum. Los Angeles Lakers receive Zion Williamson. New Orleans Pelicans receive Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, 2031 first-round pick. The oft-injured Williamson's trade value has plummeted as he has dealt with fitness and off-court issues, but the two-time All-Star remains a fascinating and athletic power forward whose game would mesh well with Doncic. Zion Williamson is an incredible shooting talent. There is some skill and positioning overlap with James, who, like Williamson, has a large frame, likely better suited to playing power forward. But James is such a brilliant player that he could probably find a way to make the combination work. In 30 healthy games this year, the 24-year-old from Duke is averaging 24.6 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists per night. LeBron James' unique leadership is already rubbing off on Luka Doncic. Doncic is learning how to wear the king's crown. Luka Doncic is the future of the Los Angeles Lakers, but he has already started to lead like LeBron James. And that is no accident, it is leadership by example in real time. Doncic is showing new habits that fans are starting to notice. As Doncic prepares to captain Slovenia at Eurobasket 2025, fans have started to notice a shift in him. He is becoming more vocal, showing up earlier, and taking more accountability, all habits that LeBron has embodied for more than 20 years. LeBron's leadership is about setting a standard that trickles down through the whole team. Steve Nash explained it on the Mind the Game podcast, when your best player, most famous player, most accredited player sets that standard every day, there's a trickle down. There's a care factor. There's a priority placed on what we're doing. That is LeBron in a nutshell. He has been that guy for decades, showing up early, holding himself and teammates accountable, demanding the best every day. It is hard not to be influenced by someone like that when you share a locker room with him. James explained, "I don't like being late to anything. I feel like it's a disrespectful thing, my stomach starts to hurt a little bit, my anxiety starts to ramp up." LeBron has always been obsessive about punctuality. That might seem like a small detail, but it says a lot about how seriously he takes his role as a leader. That kind of focus and discipline can't help but rub off. Doncic has the talent, there is no doubt about that. But leadership is not just about skill, it is about presence and voice. LeBron has also long been recognized for his vocal leadership. He shared, "My high school coaches would tell me the best thing about you, besides your skill or whatever the case may be, is your voice. My voice was always commanding and just knowing what was going on the floor, and it helped our team." Now, Doncic's voice is getting stronger. With LeBron moving into the twilight of his career and Doncic signing a new 3-year, $165 million extension with the Lakers, the team's future is clearly in Doncic's hands. But that does not mean LeBron's influence is gone. LeBron's impact on the Lakers will not just be measured in points or wins. It will be seen in the culture he has helped build, which is about discipline, accountability, and leadership. Doncic is the new face of the franchise, but he is not starting from scratch. He is walking a path blazed by one of the greatest leaders in NBA history. J.J. Redick desperately needs to add crucial element to the Lakers this season. The Los Angeles Lakers need creativity on both ends of the floor. With the rose-tinted goggles of the rookie season taken away from the J.J. Redick experience, there is pressure on the Los Angeles Lakers head coach to add some real creativity to the team on both ends in the 2025-26 NBA season. That element was missing a little too often last season. This was brought up by Jovan Buha on a recent episode of his podcast. The Lakers reporter did not hesitate when discussing what adjustments he was most excited to see during Redick's second season as a head coach. I would like to see a higher level of offensive organization and creativity, Buha said. The Lakers having better offensive principles, being a bit more organized in terms of consistently running sets. On the defensive side, have a little bit more creativity and not just default to switching. Creativity really was the buzzword at the focal point of the message. It was definitely the right one. Redick has displayed plenty of potential to be the bench boss in Los Angeles for a long time. That will only come if the former NBA sharpshooter continues to improve moving forward. J.J. Redick's adjustments will make or break the Lakers' season. Offensively, Buha highlighted that when Redick busted out the whiteboard in 2024-25, there were strong results. When the offense was properly choreographed by the Lakers coach, it yielded exactly what the Lakers were looking for. The problem was the inconsistency. In particular, this element really dropped off after the blockbuster trade for Luka Doncic. Granted, that was a tough spot for a rookie head coach. Redick was forced to figure out a whole new offense, with different principles, on the fly. At times, that did look good for the Lakers. However, there was ultimately too much falling back on just giving Doncic the ball and forcing him to figure it out without a strong plan in place. The Lakers will need to properly unlock the two-man game of Luka and LeBron James in 2025-26. There should be plenty of ways for Redick to dream up ways of punishing opposing defenses with the unfair superstar advantage Los Angeles has on offense. Defensively, Redick was forced to work around the lack of presence down in the paint. Too often, the high levels of switching and activity pushed the Lakers into mismatches that could otherwise be avoided. With DeAndre Ayton in Los Angeles, the over-reliance on that style is no longer a necessity. Redick will need to be at his best during his second season as a coach to allow the Lakers a fighting chance at being contenders in 2025-26. This time around, the head coach will get a full training camp with his squad to really figure out what the best version of this team looks like. Sasha Vujacic believes Luka Doncic is perfect. Luka Doncic is set to embark on the next chapter of his career with the Los Angeles Lakers, a beautiful marriage between a global superstar and the premier franchise of the NBA. Doncic's game as a scorer and passer is perfect for the limelight in Los Angeles, and he gets an opportunity to put on a show every night for the purple and gold faithful. To prepare himself for the 2025-26 season, Luka transformed his body, which gave people like James Worthy more confidence in his ability to lead the organization moving forward. Another former Laker in Sasha Vujacic understands the impact someone like Doncic can have on a franchise, and he called him the perfect player to represent the Lakers moving forward, via ESPN LA. 100%. And I think that, not to diss Dallas, but I think Luka's light and capability were way too big for the Dallas spotlight. I think Luka is the perfect guy that we need in LA to carry us to that next championship. And I said it a long time ago when I watched him play, there are glimpses I see from Kobe, like in his eyes. He plays with a smile, but he wants to kill you. There was a saying in our locker room, you smell blood, you go at them, and I think Luka is one of those few individuals in the league that has that demeanor, and has that mindset of trying to go to the next level. I think it's going to be a fun year, and I'm really happy he's with us. Vujacic heaped massive amounts of praise on Doncic, and comparing him to franchise legend Kobe Bryant shouldn't be taken lightly. Although Doncic is still seeking his first NBA title, it only feels like a matter of time until he reaches the mountaintop because of how skilled and talented he is. The upcoming season is the most opportune time for Doncic to show the world what he can do at his peak, and it'll be exciting to see if it culminates in a trophy. Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka are in Poland supporting Luka Doncic at Eurobasket. The Lakers organization has pulled out all the stops to show Luka Doncic that they value and appreciate him both as a player and a person. For example, Governor Jeannie Buss and President of Basketball Operations and General Manager Rob Pelinka are in Poland to support Doncic during Eurobasket. 2024-2025 Los Angeles Lakers Player Review, Rui Hachimura. After being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, Rui Hachimura had to adjust his game to fit around stars LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Previously playing under Darvin Ham, he struggled to find a consistent role, which stunted his development. Fast forward to new head coach J.J. Redick, who clearly believed in Hachimura and named him a starter from the get-go. To Hachimura's credit, he listened to Redick and his staff and altered his game nicely as a floor spacer and occasional weak-side cutter. Game recap: Mercury vs Sparks, August 26, 25. Unfortunately, Hachimura's momentum was halted by some injuries, specifically a calf issue in the second half of the season, which hindered the Lakers' chances to build chemistry with their new roster before the start of the playoffs. They acquired superstar Luka Doncic at the deadline, which again marked a shift in the role of Hachimura and other players on the team. Essentially, Hachimura's game boiled down to being a reliable, high-volume three-point shooter and cutter with his wide frame. Dating back to his time with the Washington Wizards, he loved his post touches and getting a chance to isolate in the mid-range. There was a limited sample of that with three dominant ball handlers in Doncic, James, and Austin Reeves, however. Heading into the postseason, Hachimura and the Lakers were still trying to find their footing while playing with a flawed roster that lacked center depth. Hachimura tried to fill in the gaps and played some small ball center, but the result for LA was a first-round loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Hachimura still had his moments in that series though, as he scored 23 points apiece in games 4 and 5. He earned Redick's trust, playing 40 minutes a games in the final two contests. Admittedly, Hachimura's defense concerns are evident, but he made some strides on that end this past season by playing more physical. In 59 games for the Lakers last season, he averaged 13.1 points, 5.0 rebounds, and 1.4 assists on 50.9% from the field and 41.3% from distance. 2024-25 highlight. A team that Hachimura loves to play against is the Memphis Grizzlies, notably dismantling them during their first-round series in 2023. He did it again this past season as his season high came against Memphis on March 28, putting up 32 points and 10 rebounds. The 27-year-old shot super efficiently on 11 for 14 from the field and a ridiculous 7 for 8 from three-point range. 2025-26 outlook. This season is a contract year for Hachimura and it appears no extension talks were had between him and the organization during the offseason. Now embracing a new direction of Lakers basketball with Luka Doncic, Hachimura's production in 2025-26 could project his future in LA. In terms of role, everything is expected to stay the same for the 27-year-old, although it remains to be seen if he will start or come off the bench for Redick. Genie Bus, Luka Doncic has now fully embraced Lakers after being sad when learning of trade. While the Luka Doncic trade to the Los Angeles Lakers came as a massive shock to the entire basketball world, it came as just as big a surprise, if not even more so, to the superstar himself. Doncic has made no secret of the fact that he felt he would spend his entire career with the Dallas Mavericks and the idea of being traded never crossed his mind. As such, it took some time for Luka to come to grips with the fact that he was a member of the Lakers. But the Lakers did everything in their power from day one to make the superstar guard feel at home and loved by this franchise, and it has ultimately paid off. Lakers governor Genie Bus has witnessed this process from the beginning, and in a recent interview with Slovenian radio station Radio 1 Slow, she spoke about how sad Doncic was upon originally getting traded but has since fully embraced being a member of the Lakers family. It was such a surprise. Nobody knew, it was a secret, nobody knew the trade was going to happen. I knew, but he didn't know, and so I've never had a player come to the Lakers and be as sad as he was. The trade was a huge surprise to him, so he had to process it. But with Luka, the last time I saw Kobe Bryant alive was he brought his daughter Gianna to the Lakers game to see Luka play because Luka was Gianna's favorite player. And so they've always been connected in some way. And I knew that if the opportunity to have somebody like Luka on the Lakers, that it would all work out. And so we saw in real time that Luka's a real person and he had to process what happened. And I think now he's embraced the Lakers and he's all about LA, and it's good. The Lakers have always made their superstars feel special and treated them like family, and Luka has been able to experience that firsthand. The support he has gotten is endless, with Bus and Rob Pelinka even traveling to Poland to watch him participate in FIBA Eurobasket 2025. It's normal for any player in Doncic's position to be taken aback by a trade like he experienced, with no prior knowledge at all. But the Lakers worked hard to show him that he has a home and family in Los Angeles, and that's why it was easy for him to ink that contract extension to remain here for the foreseeable future. Luka Doncic appreciative of Jeanie Buss and Rob Pelinka traveling to support him at Eurobasket. The Lakers brass of Governor Jeanie Buss and General Manager Rob Pelinka traveling to Poland to show their support for Luka Doncic as he represents Slovenia at FIBA Eurobasket 2025 was a step that many franchises wouldn't take. But Doncic was very appreciative of them traveling all that way. LeBron James predicted to leave Lakers in wild trade forecast. One of the biggest questions surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers this offseason was LeBron James' future with the franchise. Bleacher Report's Grant Hughes believes the superstar is bound to leave LA and join a new team. The anointment of Luka Doncic, the failure to reach an offseason extension, the refusal of the front office to go all in for rotation helped this past summer, all of it points to a LeBron James exit, Hughes writes. While it's true James has non-basketball reasons to remain based in LA, it's still hard to imagine him accepting status as something other than the most important figure in the franchise for a full year. Especially if the Lakers aren't a top-flight contender. Hughes argues the Lakers' lack of moves this summer has given James reason to leave as the Western Conference remains extremely competitive. Additionally, Luka Doncic is now at the forefront of the organization and the front office is focused on building the roster around the 26-year-old. Maybe if Los Angeles was loaded with star talent, James could talk himself into accepting a more supplementary role, one that still might evolve into him taking over playoff games in the spring, Hughes added. But the West is loaded, and the Lakers' decision not to re-up with James suggests they don't even view him as the second star they want next to Doncic whenever the team reaches contention. Some of that is understandable given James' age, but the facts are what they are. For the first time, James isn't his team's most valuable asset, and his organization isn't gunning for a title at all costs. That's not going to sit well, and it'll eventually lead to a trade out of town. The message from the Lakers has been clear: Doncic is the team's next generational star. Therefore, James is now considered more of the supporting cast rather than the face of the franchise. As James reaches the end of his career, he may want to pursue other avenues in order to win one more championship before he says goodbye to basketball. The James-Doncic duo in Hollywood is as dynamic as they come, but it may be coming to an end.